What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again to talk about my top 5 teams that I think will make it to the college football playoffs in 2024. I didn't put this in no specific order. So if I mention your team last, don't get upset because this is not in any specific order. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. The first team I got making it to the college football playoffs in 2024 is the Ohio State Buckeyes. I know a lot of y'all might say Ryan Day can't win the big game or he collapsed in big games, whatever, but it's a 12-team playoff. So I think Ryan Day and those Buckeyes will be in the playoff next season. Looking at their schedule, I don't see anybody really challenging them outside of Oregon. So, hey, it is what it is. But anyway, I know Kyle McCord, he transferred. Their quarterback position is unknown right now. Right now, the starting quarterback is projected to be Kansas State transfer Will Howard. But I think it's going to be a quarterback battle going into the summer and the fall. So that's a wait and see right there. But they do got 2 dynamic running backs. They got Travion Henderson, who came back, and they picked up Quinshon Judkins, Ole Miss transfer via the transfer portal. Now, Quinshon Judkins is one of the best running backs in college football. He has ran for over 1,000 yards, both his freshman and sophomore year. I believe last season he had 15 touchdowns rushing. So the guy is a dynamic running back, and that's a good pickup for Ohio State. They still got wide receiver Mika Ibuka. He had to wait his turn behind Jackson Smith and Jigba and Marvin Harrison Jr. So he had to wait behind some great guys. Even though he got on the field with those guys, he'll be the #1 wide receiver this season. Also, as far as the defense in Ohio State, they returning their whole secondary except for defensive back Josh Proctor. But guess what? They replacing him with Caleb Downs, one of the best defensive backs in all of college football. Alabama transfer, I might add. Wish he'd have stayed, but hey, it's all good. I think they lost 2 linebackers and a defensive end off the front 7. But hey, I don't think this defense is going to fall off. I think this defense is going to be even better in 2024. All right, but like I said, looking at the schedule, I don't think there's nobody to challenge Ohio State besides Oregon. Okay, who's going to challenge? Well, their first game is Akron, and then they got Western Michigan and Marshall, Michigan State, our Hawkeyes. That's their first 5 games, and I think they'll win every one of them. Game 6 is Oregon. Can they beat Oregon? Don't know. Dan Lanning, a pretty good coach, got a pretty good program at Oregon. I think that's going to be a pretty tough game. Can Ohio State pull it out? Yes. And that's going to be a big game for Ryan Day. So we'll see how that plays out. But then they got Nebraska and Penn State. I think they'll win both of those games. I know Penn State's supposed to be up and coming, but I think Ohio State will beat them pretty handily. Then Purdue, Northwestern, Indiana, and Michigan. Do I think Michigan's going to be what they was last season? No, I don't. I don't think the defense will be the same, even though those guys who's taking the place of the guys who went to the draft, they got experience, but I don't think they will have the same type of defense that they had last season. And then, you know, Jim Harbaugh is gone. So, hey, do I got faith in Sharon, Coach Sharon, whatever his name? Yes, I do, but not as much as I do in Coach Harbaugh. Plus, Sharon, this is his very first time being a head coach, I believe. So it might be some growing pains. It ain't like a coach coming in from another program who already got head coach experience. So, hey, we'll see what it is with Michigan. But I think Ohio State will win this one against Michigan after losing the past 3 years in a row, 3 or 4 years in a row. So I think Ohio State will beat Michigan this season. But I do have Ohio State making the college football playoffs in 2024 as one of the top teams. And the next team that I got making the college football playoffs, #2, Georgia Bulldogs. This is not in any specific order. But I got the Georgia Bulldogs making it to the college football playoffs. Okay. Now, as far as Georgia, man, no more Brock Bowers, no more Ladd McConkey, no more Kendall Milton. All right, you know what Brock Bowers brought to the Georgia Bulldogs, Mr. Everything. Ladd McConkey, pretty good wide receiver. Kendall Milton, pretty good running back when he was healthy. I'll just say that. But anyway, they lost some guys off that offense. They lost well, like I say, those three guys, and then off the offensive line, they lost Cedric Van Pran. They lost Amarius Mims, who I think was their best two offensive linemen. Don't know who's going to replace them. But guess what? They still got guys. Dylan Bell, I think this dude can play any position. Wide receiver, running back, tight end, whatever you want to put him, except for quarterback and offensive line. But Dylan Bell, he's a stud. Then you got wide receivers, Thomas, Dominique Lovett coming back, and they added Vandy transfer Landon Humphreys. All right, Landon Humphreys looked good in that spring game. They also got KJ Jefferson, 5-star freshman, wide receiver. He was one of the best wide receivers in all of college football. I mean, all of high school football last season. And I think, matter of fact, he's what they call it, a 5-star elite athlete. Okay. But anyway, they returning at the running back position, Branson Robinson, Roderick Robinson, and they added Trevor Etienne. Do I think they're going to have one of the best running back core in the country? We'll wait and see. I don't think it's going to be no Sona Michelle and Nick Chubb type, but I think they're going to be pretty decent. All right, especially adding Trevor Etienne. I'd make jokes about Trevor Etienne. Oh, he could have started at Florida. Well, this is a different dynamic, a different scheme at the University of Florida, and he might thrive in that scheme. Just got to wait and see. They got quarterback Carson Beck coming back. Okay, and most of these guys that I mentioned got camaraderie with Carson Beck. So Thomas, Dominique Lovett, yeah, they know what they've been working with Carson Beck for a full season now. All right, so hey, they know what to expect out of Carson Beck. As far as the defense, they added new secondary coach Tavares Robinson, but they also lost some guys like Javon Bullock, Kamar Lassiter, Tyke Smith. Okay, but they did add Jake Pope in that secondary. All three of those guys I just mentioned was defensive backs. So just like Alabama, they lost a lot as far as defensive backs also. Okay, but in that defensive backfield, they do bring back Malachi Starks and Mikael Williams. All right, and like I say, they added Alabama transfer Jake Pope. Okay, linebackers, they lost Jameis Dumas Johnson. But they got what's his name? Shaz Chambliss coming back. A lot of Georgia fans don't like him, but you know how it beats that way sometimes. Kind of remind me of how Alabama fans felt about Henry Toll. Because I didn't like him at all. But hey, it is what it is. The only thing I'm skeptical about for Georgia is their defense. Now, I think the offense is going to be, I ain't going to say explosive, but this offense is going to get the job done. I'm going to say that. And I don't think their schedule is working in their favor because they got some tough matchups. And looking at their schedule, first game, they got Clemson. I think they'll beat Clemson. I just do. Clemson, I think the program is going down all because of Dabo Swinney. But anyway, Clemson, Tennessee Tech, Kentucky, I think they'll win all three of those games. Start out the season 3-0, and they got a bye. Then they play my Alabama Crimson Tide. All right. I think it's going to be a tough game for both teams, as usual. We always play each other tough. All right. But the Georgia fans seem to think they're going to come into Tuscaloosa and just manhandle my Alabama Crimson Tide simply because Nick Saban ain't on the sidelines no more. Well, we'll see. But anyway, they'll beat Auburn and Mississippi State, Texas, Another tough game. Another tough game. So yeah. Then I ain't gonna say if they gonna win, lose. Just call it a tough game, which I think is gonna be. Ole Miss, I think. Then well, they got Florida Gators. They'll beat Florida. Then they got Ole Miss. That's another tough game that I think. That's just me. All right. Tennessee, I think, gonna be a tough game for them. That's just me. I know they done beat Tennessee time after time after time and year after year, but I think this is going to be a tough game for Georgia this year. All right, and they'll beat UMass and Georgia Tech. So, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Alabama, and Texas, I think that's their toughest game, and that's the road that they're going to have to take. Can they end 12-0? I don't think so. I don't think so, but they'll be one of the top teams in the college football playoffs in 2024. All right, and then moving on, I got Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss. Yes, I do. And one thing in Ole Miss's favor is that they got a pretty easy schedule. All right, they returning Jackson Dart at the quarterback position. So, as a matter of fact, the SEC only got 5 returning quarterbacks, or five returning starting quarterbacks, and Jackson Dart is one of them. But anyway, Carson Beck is one of them. But anyway, as far as Ole Miss, we know they lost Quishon Judkins, but they brought in LSU transfer running back Logan Diggs. Now, don't know if he's going to start the season because he had an off-season knee surgery. And they brought in Jerry Korsky Meritko. That's his name. Jerry Korsky Meritko from New Mexico. You might say New Mexico. Well, this guy ran for almost 1,200 yards last season and 17 touchdowns. So that's not bad. And that's a good replacement for Quishon Judkins. I can tell you that now. But anyway, they picked up Antoine Juice Wells at wide receiver from South Carolina to go along with Trey Harris. Trey Harris was their best receiver last season, had almost 1,000 yards receiving with 985 and 8 touchdowns. Okay, so hey, it is what it is. And they brought in Walter Nolan for the defensive side of the ball from Texas A&M. He had 7 sacks last season, probably their best defender last season. Anyway, they brought in Princely, whatever his fucking name from Florida. I'm gonna call him Princely U. I mean, I don't know what the hell that last name is, but anyway, they address some needs in the transfer portal, as Lane Kiffin always does. Okay, and if you look at Ole Miss schedule, it is pretty daggone easy. Where we at? Ole Miss schedule. If I can get this to come out the way. But anyway, they open up against Furman and Middle Tennessee, Wake Forest, Georgia Southern, and Kentucky. I think, and South Carolina. I think that's 6 easy wins for Ole Miss. Then they play LSU in LSU or at Baton Rouge or whatever you want to call it, Death Valley. So Ole Miss, I think they're going to beat LSU in Baton Rouge. I really do. I think LSU defense ain't going to be no better than it was last season. Plus, you don't got Jaden Daniels no more. You don't got Logan Diggs no more. He'll be playing against you. So, Ole Miss, I think Ole Miss, they're going to start 7-0. Then they play Oklahoma. I think that might be a challenge for them. I don't know, since Dylan Gabriel, he left and went to, he transferred to USC from Oklahoma. So, but I still think Oklahoma can have a pretty good season and play some teams tough. Ole Miss is gonna beat Arkansas. Then they play those Georgia Bulldogs November the 9th. Okay, so that's gonna be tough. But the good thing about it, Ole Miss play at home. Then they got an off game, play Florida Gators and Mississippi State Bulldogs. So the only challenge I see for Ole Miss is Georgia, Oklahoma. That's about it. And they're going to win 1 or 2 of those games. Or 1 out the 2 of those games. So I'm looking at Ole Miss going in the playoffs with only 1 loss. That's it. and I think they'll be a top team in the playoffs. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm glad Alabama don't play Ole Miss this season. I am. So, hey, it is what it is. But moving on from Ole Miss, I'm going with my Alabama Crimson Tide. And why am I going with my Alabama Crimson Tide? And I'm going to tell you, one of the reasons is Coach Kalen DeBoer. Because I just can't look over I can't look over the success that he done had everywhere else and think that he can't have that same success with my Alabama Crimson Tide with the talent that we have. I just can't do it. But anyway, we returning quarterback Jalen Milroe on this offense, but we done lost some guys on offense like running back Jason McClellan and Roydell Williams from the running back position. But guess what? I think our running back room is better with the guys that we got now with J.M. Miller, Justin Haynes, and Richard Young. And we also added four-star Daniel Hill, who looked good in the spring game. Okay, I forgot the other guy we got coming in the summer at the running back position. But the running back position is looking good, and I think Alabama can have one of the best running back rooms in the country in 2024. Wide receivers, we lost Isaiah Bond, Malik Benson. We also lost tight end Amari Black. But we returned some people for us wide receivers too, like Kendrick Law and Cobra Prentice. Okay. We was looking forward to Jalen Hale. He was returning, but he got hurt in the spring. So don't even know if he'll play any in the regular season. But anyway, we added Jeremy Bernard via the transfer portal from Washington. Then we got freshman Caleb Odom, who they moved from tight end to wide receiver, 6'5". Coach Kalen DeBoer, Nick Sheridan, they high on this guy. So I'm expecting to see him on the field a lot in 2024. Don't forget that we added we didn't add, but we still got Emmanuel Henderson there. He need to see the field. They say he's one of the fastest guys on the team, so he need to be on the field. So hey, anyway, I think this wide receiver core, let's just say I think we're going to have an explosive offense. That's just me. I'm the coach, Kalen DeBoer. All right, offensive line, I think we good on that. I mean, we returning Jaden Robertson, Tyler Booker, Caden Proctor. All right, Parker Brelsford transferred from Washington, be our center. Hopefully, we won't have no snapping issues anymore. Okay, the only thing as far as the offensive line is the right tackle position. Don't know who that'll be. I'm looking at Wilkin Formerly. So from what I'm reading, all right. So I still think our offense is going to be very explosive, more explosive than we done been in a while, especially under damn Bill O'Brien and Tommy Rees. I think we're about to go back to the Steve Sarkisian days and the Lane Kiffin days. Hopefully. Hopefully. But anyway, far as the defense, we're going to miss Dallas Turner and Chris Braswell. We also lost Tresman Marshall from the linebacker position. But we returned Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson as middle linebackers, and then these edge rushers. We're going to be all right. Keon Keeley, Yanzi Pierre. We got so many young guys. This defense is going to be young, but I tell you what, once these guys gel together and get that cohesion, this is going to be one hell of a defense. And hopefully we can get that early in 2024 and be ready. We got 2 tune-up games. So before we get to Wisconsin, which in my opinion, Wisconsin is a tune-up game too. As far as the secondary, we lost Caleb Downs to Ohio State. I really hate that. We lost Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terry Arnold. So, like I say, this defense is going to be young. Luckily, Coach Kalen DeBoer was able to navigate the transfer portal and get some defensive backs in. Remember, Damani Jackson came in before Nick Saban retired, and then we got Keon Saab from Michigan. Kalen DeBoer brought him in. Keon Saab and Who else we got? The three we got in the spring transfer portal. Okay, so Deshaun Jones from Wake Forest, King Mack from Penn State. We got a guy from Charlotte. Don't know. We just got him for depth, I believe. It's another one, I believe. But anyway, we looking good on the defensive side of the ball as far as experience. I'll just say that even though we'll be young, I think we got some experience, a lot of experience on the defensive side of the ball. Now, we are returning some people as far as the secondary, like Malachi Moore and Devontae Smith. So we are returning a couple of people. We're returning now the defensive line. We good there with not Jahad Campbell, but Tim Keenan, Jaheim Otis, Tim Smith, Jamarian Latham. So we good as far as the defensive line. So, hey, let the chips fall where they may, baby. But I got my Alabama Crimson Tide making it to the college football playoff as one of the top teams next year. And yes, Kalen DeBoer factored into my decision. Okay. And then the last team, the fifth team I got making it to the playoff is Florida State. Yes, Florida State. I know Florida State, they lost some guys, but guess what? Florida State navigated the transfer portal pretty good also. All right. Well, I got Florida State at. Anyway, Florida State on the offensive side of the ball, they lost quarterback Jordan Travis. That's a big loss, to the draft. But, he got hurt towards the end of the season, and that was the main reason that Florida State didn't go to the playoff. But they replaced Jordan Travis with a experienced quarterback in DJ Uiagalelei. But anyway, former quarterback for the Clemson Tigers. And I know old daggone Dabo Swinney wish he wouldn't have let DJ Uiagalelei get away. But hey, he transferred from where was DJ at? I forgot, but he transferred again to Florida State. And I think he's going to fit that Florida State offense perfect. All right. But anyway, they also lost wide receiver Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson, but they got Alabama transfer Malik Benson in there, and they saying Malik Benson could be a number one receiver in that offense. Now, he didn't do much for my Alabama Crimson Tide, but in Florida State scheme, he might just show out. You never know. He might excel in that offense, but we'll see. They also lost running back Trey Benson, but guess what they did? They replaced him with Alabama transfer Roydell Williams. And Roydell Williams, he's a good back. I love what Roydell Williams did in that SEC championship game. I don't know why they didn't give him the ball more in the playoff game. That was crazy. But hey, it is what it is. He decided to transfer. I thought it was going to go to the NFL, but hey, it is what it is. He ain't wearing crimson no more, so hey, it is what it is. But I ain't got nothing to say bad about Roydell Williams. On defense, Florida State lost some guys too. Jared Verse, Brandon Fisk. Well, defensive end, Jared Verse. A great defensive end, I might add. Defensive tackle, Braden Fisk. Defensive back, Renardo Green. And linebacker, Tatum Bethune. But the defensive back, they replaced him with Earl Little Jr., another Alabama Crimson Tide transfer. I wanted to see Earl Little on the field this season for my Alabama Crimson Tide. Matter of fact, I've been wanting to see Earl Little Jr. on the field for my Alabama Crimson Tide. But that didn't happen, so he decided to transfer to Florida State. And I think Florida State is going to have a good team, no doubt. There's nobody, in my opinion, on Florida State's schedule to challenge them. Nobody in the ACC. You might say, well, they got Clemson. Okay, who is Clemson? They going down. No doubt in my mind. That program is going down in the dumps. And no, Clemson won't challenge Florida State. That's just my opinion. But anyway, who they got? They opened up the season with the Yellow Jackets. Well, Georgia Tech, win. Boston College, win. Memphis Tigers, win. The California Bears, Golden Bears, win. SMU, win. Clemson, win. Duke, win. Miami, win. North Carolina, win. Notre Dame, challenge. Charleston Southern, win. Florida, win. I don't see nobody putting up a fight against Florida State other than maybe Notre Dame. That's it. Miami, no, you don't have a chance, so don't even think about it. No, Miami. But anyway, those are my 5 teams. I didn't go over Alabama's schedule, but hey, it's all good. We got, like I say, 3 easy games. Beginning of the season, Western Kentucky, USF, and Wisconsin. We got an off game. Then we got, yes, I did, Georgia Bulldogs. Challenge. I didn't go over this. Challenge, Georgia Bulldogs. Vandy, win. South Carolina, win. Tennessee, win. Missouri, win. LSU, win. Mercer, win. Oklahoma, maybe a close win. And Auburn, win. That's Alabama's schedule. But anyway, that's my top 5 teams that will make the college football playoffs in 2024. But also, at number 6, I got Oregon. At number 7, I got Texas. At number 8, I got Tennessee. Okay, so I went over the top 5, and I named my next 3. So my top 8 is Ohio State, Georgia, Florida State, Alabama, Ole Miss, in no specific order. Then I got coming in right behind them, 6 Oregon, 7 Texas, 8 Tennessee. Now this in no specific order, those 3 teams either. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. If you agree, let me know you agree. If you don't agree, let me know that you don't agree. All right, who would you put in there if I don't have them in the top 5 or the top 8? Who would you have in there, and where would you have them? So anyway, but y'all let me know. And remember this, y'all be blessed. And I don't give a piss about nothing but the tide. And roll, damn tide.